شرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The author, Al-Tahawi rahimahullah, then says in point number 3, وَلَا شَيْءَ يُعْجِزُهُ, nothing is impossible for him.
Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. The author is still describing Allah Jalla wa Ala. Who is Allah Jalla wa Ala? Is introducing the majesty of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Or to be more accurate, is introducing Allah Jalla wa Ala to us. So he started by explaining or by stating the principle of Tawheed, and we explained the importance of that and the types of Tawheed, and then he singled out one point or one type of Tawheed, which is Tawheed al-Asma'i wa-Sifat, and then he went along to explain the power of Allah Jalla wa Ala, which is still describing Allah Jalla wa Ala and His Majesty. Now, we have to realize one thing, that the author Al-Tahawi, whom we have given his seerah or biodata, he lived in the 4th Hijrah century, and that is a very early stage. And at that time, the authors were not writing things in a similar way as we write. So the author At-Tahawi, he mentioned, or he listed some of the names and attributes of Allah Jalla wa Ala in the beginning, then he moved to another subject, then he went back to the names and attributes of Allah Jalla wa Ala, then he moved to speak about the qadr, the power of Allah Jalla wa Ala and the ability of Allah Jalla wa Ala, then he started to speak about other chapters of Aqeedah. So it is not well organized, or let us be even more polite in our statement by saying it is not organized as we are organizing the books of Aqeedah now. Maybe that was the common style at that time. However, we have to understand that there are certain reasons for why he included certain statements along with other statements. So let us not imagine that there is arbitrary order here, or there is no logic behind that order. This is very dangerous to believe. However, we admit that he did not gather all the topics or similar topics in one place. وَلَا شَيْءَ يُعْجِزُهُ, nothing is impossible for Allah Jalla wa Ala. Now, this is confirmed throughout the Quran. Allah Jalla wa Ala says, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقْتَدِرًا وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعْجِزُهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, that Allah Jalla wa Ala is able to do anything. And وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقْتَدِرًا, Allah Jalla wa Ala has power over everything. وما كان الله ليعجزه من شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء, nothing is impossible to Allah Jalla wa Ala, whether in the heavens or in the earth. And there are many ayat like this to prove that there is nothing impossible to Allah Jalla wa Ala. Allah Jalla wa Ala can do anything He wants. And this equality is again one of the fundamental qualities of Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, the oneness of the Lordship of Allah Jalla wa Ala, that Allah Jalla wa Ala is able to do anything whenever He wants. Of course, this ayah will be, or this statement will be explained further when we talk about the qadr. However, before we conclude about this point, this statement or what is included in this statement might come inshallah later, and we will explain it inshallah in further details later. Yes.
The author At-Tahawi rahimahullah then says in the fourth point, وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ, there is no God other than He.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This statement, وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ, is the testimony of Tawheed. And we have explained that in general, as we said. And as we also said that the author sometimes is repeating certain words in different places, and he did not collect all principles that are similar to each other in one place. He scattered some of them around. Like this statement, وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُ, someone might say that it's mentioned in the beginning. The matter is easy, inshallah. This statement is talking about the principle of Tawheed, and we have explained what does Tawheed mean, and the three types of Tawheed, and the role of Tawheed in our life, and the importance and significance of Tawheed. However, here the Sharih, the commentator on At-Tahawi, who is Ibn Abi al-Izz al-Hanafi, he mentioned one important point about this statement. He said, if we look at this statement, لا إله غيره, there is nothing like Allah Jalla wa Ala. There is no God but Allah Jalla wa Ala. In Arabic, لا إله غيره, there is something missing. يعني الخبر. الخبر means the completion of the statement. لا إله غيره. إله is اسم لا. What is the khabar? Khabar means what is the completion of the statement. Okay, the completion of the statement, what is it? In another word, once we say there is no God but Allah Jalla wa Ala, yeah, if you can focus on this point, brothers and sisters, there is no God but Allah Jalla wa Ala. There are possibilities, because if you just dig into this statement, you will find that it is incomplete. It needs another word just to make it complete and clear. There is no real God but Allah, or there is no God that exists beside Allah. So the word there is no God, it needs another word to complete it. So what does that word that completes this? Taqdeer, this missing word. So the Sharih here, the commentator, he said that there is no God that exists. And as you know, that Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz has a comment here on this particular statement. He said to say that there is no God that exists is not the perfect taqdeer of the missing statement. So we need another word in order to make that word, which is the word or the statement of Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, in order to make it perfect in terms of understanding, so no one can misunderstand it. He said we need to say that there is no haqq, no true God but Allah Jalla wa Ala. So the word should be haqq, la ilaha haqq illallah. There is no true God but Allah. What does that mean? It means that someone might say there is a God or there are gods, but they are false gods beside Allah Jalla wa Ala. So once we say there is no God, means there is no real God, there is no true God but Allah Jalla wa Ala. And that completes this statement. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but we need to understand its full, deep meaning. that it does not negate the existence of gods beside Allah Jalla wa Ala, as some people believe in, but it negates the existence of true gods beside Allah Jalla wa Ala. It negates the existence of real gods beside Allah Jalla wa Ala. This is one part of it. Now, once we say that there is no God, there is no real, true God beside Allah Jalla wa Ala, it implies the second part, which is, and hence there is no real, true God that deserves to be worshipped except Allah Jalla wa Ala. Okay? I hope that the full meaning of the statement is clear, and the completion of the statement is clear. So, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah Jalla wa Ala, means there is no real and true God who deserves to be worshipped except Allah Jalla wa Ala. That is the meaning of it, and that's what the interpreter or the commentator explained.
The author then says, خَلَقَ الْخَلْقَ بِعِلْمِهِ. He created the creation with his knowledge.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. In this point, the author is aiming to prove that Allah Jalla wa Ala created everything with his knowledge, means knowing what he has created in details. The point here, or the author here, is not focusing on the creation, rather he is focusing on the knowledge of Allah Jalla wa Ala. That Allah Jalla wa Ala knows what he has created in details. And if we read in the Quran, for example in Surah Tabarak, أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. At-Tabari said, doesn't he know the one who created? And some other scholars added to this ayah the other meaning, which is, doesn't he know what he has created? So, man khalaqa, either it refers to Allah Jalla wa Ala, or it refers to the creation. If it refers to the creation, or even if it refers to Allah Jalla wa Ala, it proves that Allah Jalla wa Ala knows everything about what he has created. The author here, in a very clever way, he stated this as a principle to what will come now. Because if Allah is the creator, then by logic, by common sense, as the commentator confirmed in the next point, by logic, by common sense, the one who created something, he will be aware of everything related to that creation. It is impossible that Allah Jalla wa Ala creates something and then that created thing will do something that Allah Jalla wa Ala wouldn't or was not aware of what this thing will be doing. So this is the first statement that has to be confirmed, and it is a very important principle that Allah Jalla wa Ala created everything, and Allah Jalla wa Ala created them and knowing what they are going to look like, how they are going to act, and everything about them. And the commentator also brought the second ayah, which is وَعِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ لَا يَعْلَمُهَا إِلَّا هُوَ وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُهَا وَلَا حَبَّةٍ فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَا رَطْبٍ وَلَا يَابِسٍ إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. The translation of this ayah is, with him are the keys to the unseen, the treasures that none knows but he. He knows whatever there is on earth and in the sea. Not a leaf falls but with his knowledge. Subhanallah. And if we reflect, my dear brothers and sisters, on this part, not a leaf falls but with his knowledge. for example, in Britain here, how many leaves fall in the autumn? Millions, billions of them. And Allah Jalla wa Ala gave this example to refute those who say that the minor details, Allah Jalla wa Ala does not bother to know them, or Allah Jalla wa Ala does not put any concern to know them. And Allah Jalla wa Ala just established universal rules, and then those universal rules will operate outside His knowledge. They will operate by His will, that is true, but Allah Jalla wa Ala then just leave them alone, and Allah Jalla wa Ala does not put any astaghfirullah al-azim, or that Allah Jalla wa Ala does not know what is the outcome of those universal rules, such as the nature in autumn, the trees in autumn just leave their leaves and so on. Allah Jalla wa Ala wants to say, no, He Jalla wa Ala knows everything, including every single leaf that falls in any part of the world. Allah Jalla wa Ala knows when it falls, where it falls, and why it falls, and when it is going to come again, and what will happen to it.